Wisp Sports Radio, the voice of women in sport.
Hello, and thank you for joining me on the Athlete Profile Show. This is Season 2, Episode 2. I'm your host, Chris Stafford, and this episode is a revisit of a show that I recorded some 6 years ago with the water skier Erica Lang. It was January 2014, in fact, and Erica was just 18 years old and already breaking records as the women's world champion trick water skier, and she'd consistently topped the national rankings for the previous 9 years. Now at the age of 24, Erica, who actually started water skiing at the ripe age of 2, had a banner year in 2019. A few of the highlights have been making the podium in both trick and wake at the Moomba Masters, winning tricks at the Masters as well as taking third in the wakeboard division, placing third at the WWA Wakeboard Worlds, and breaking the women's trick world record, as well as being the first woman over 11,000 points when she finished on a score of 11,260. It was obvious back when I spoke to Erica in 2014 that she was only going to break more records. So I thought it's worth listening back to this conversation to get a sense of her drive and ambition. As the world champion trick water skier, she had already broken her record twice in 2014. And she's dominated the rankings with the number 1 slot in the world for juniors since 2010 and on the elite water skiing ranking for the past 2 years. And she's also topped the US ranking for the past 9 years. She's been a member of the US water ski team on numerous occasions, competing around the world, and has recently added wakeboarding to her repertoire. Erica is originally from Arizona, but is now studying at Rollins College in Orlando, from where she joins me now. Erica, welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Well, as I said, you're only 18 and you're breaking all kinds of records already. So let's tell everybody what those records are.
Yeah, so I have the women's world record for trick water skiing, and that's basically just a record for, I do 2 passes down and back, doing as many tricks as hard of difficulty as possible. And yeah, I have the world record for that, just being able to execute everything perfectly.
And you've broken your own world record?
I've broken it twice now, so I have three world records.
That's awesome. So you really have taken ownership of that then, for sure.
I have, yes. And I'm gonna keep trying to up it as much as I can in the future. So I'm not done yet.
Well, no, obviously there's a lot more to come, and we're going to talk about that. But let's just rewind a little bit to how you got into the sport in the first place, Erica.
Yeah, so I started when I was 2. My parents, they bought a house on a lake in Arizona, and I just grew up on the lake, always by the water, and they started me when I was 2. My first competition was when I was 5, and just been doing it ever since. I was gymnast originally as well, so that really helps me with all the flips and spatial awareness and strength. So that really contributed to my success, I think, on the water.
So were your parents into this then in a big way? Were they encouraging you to start so young?
Yeah, my parents were both competitive water skiers as well, and they just had like such a love for the sport, and they wanted to get me involved, and so they never really realized how successful I'd be with it, but they just loved it so much and wanted to make it like a family sport. But I really loved it and just took it all the way. So yeah, it worked out.
Well, so often we know with sport, to be really good at it, a lot of it is instinct, isn't it? So what is the instinct then with water skiing that makes you so good? I mean, obviously you're well established in the sport now, breaking all kinds of records, and we're going to talk more about where you've been skiing around the world, but there must be some core skills that you need, Erica. Tell us about those.
Yeah, well, I think really what helped with my success is just that I was a level 10 gymnast, so before breaking all these world records, and just being able to have the background in that, like, just helped me with flips. Like when I was going to learn like flips on the water and all these crazy tricks, I like already knew how to do them on land and on the trampoline, and so that really was what set me apart. I think that's what set me apart from all the other competitors, because I didn't really have that background, and I think that's key to being a super good trick skier.
Well, clearly that was an advantage to you. So how much of these moves then do you practice on land, and you use the trampoline, by the sounds of things, to help you?
Yeah, so I definitely use the trampoline, just because if you can do the trick on the trampoline before going to the water, you can get the learning curve for like learning it on the water is definitely much better. Like, you can learn the tricks without taking so many hard falls, and you land it much faster if you can do it on the tramp before.
So you train on a trampoline then on a regular basis, do you?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. And now tell us about the actual gymnastics that have helped you. Do you still do some of those gymnastics, the floor exercises?
Well, I don't compete anymore. I still go down to the gym and still keep up some of my like tumbling skills and everything like that. But I don't do the floor events anymore, just because my time is mainly used up on the water now, just because I chose to do that instead of gymnastics.
Right.
But I still definitely try to keep up with all my skills, because I've seen how much they help with me with water skiing.
Yeah, and I would imagine that core strength is critically important as well. So give us an idea then of your training regime, because obviously you're training regularly for the level of competition you're at right now, even though you're at school. Give us a sense of what you include in your training program each week, Erica.
Yeah, training outside, like off the water, is definitely super important. So I try to go to the gym at least once a day, and I do a lot of cardio, because that I feel is like the most important, cardio and core strength. So I go to the gym and I run a couple miles, do the elliptical, and really work on my core for sure. And I really like running outside, so I try to run outside as much as I can. Sometimes I have to go. I'll end up running on the treadmill, but running outside is I love it. So I definitely train hard off the water as well. I think it's super important.
And being based in Orlando, Florida, you've got the perfect climate there to be training outdoors all year round, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. The weather's perfect here, and it's super good to train on and off the water outside. And I couldn't ask to live in a better place.
Well, now take us on the water then, Erica, and what the training involves there, because you presumably, I know the other day I was following you on Instagram and you executed a whirlybird, which you were pretty excited about.
Oh, yeah.
Was that?
Yes, I was. Training in the water definitely, well, this goes back to like being able to do all these tricks on the trampoline as well. So when I go to the water, usually I have a pretty good idea of, if I'm trying a new trick, I have a pretty good idea of what I'm about to attempt. And if I can't like see it in my head, like I can't like picture myself doing it, then I probably shouldn't try it, you know. But yeah, so when I'm trying a new trick, I just I go back to what I did on the trampoline, and I just try my best to, you know, mimic that. And then like as far as training for competitions, I like am super dedicated in like just like doing my routine like over and over again until I can do it like at least 5 in a row. I'll just stay out there. I'll stay out there for as long as possible to make sure I have it ingrained in my body.
Absolutely. It comes down to muscle memory then, doesn't it? And just doing it instinctively, I would imagine. Because you're traveling at a speed of what then on the water when you're performing these tricks, Erica?
You're going about 18, 19 miles per hour.
Okay, and you start from scratch, you pulled up, obviously, and you pick up speed. Just to mention one of the basics here, obviously, you need a boat and a driver, somebody that's going to, stay out there and train with you for as long as you need. How do you come about getting that? Do you have to be part of a club, or how does that work?
Yeah, well, when I was living at home, my mom was she was very good about driving me every single day. She'd stay out there in the boat with me constantly. She loved the sport just as much as I do. So training at home was definitely pretty easy for me. And then here in Orlando, it's still, I have my mom here, but I have a coach, and they'll stay out in the boat with me for as long as I need. So it's pretty easy to train. Here at Rollins, actually, I'm on the ski team, so I get access to the water to training for as long as I want each day. So it's super convenient.
Yeah, really. Obviously, it's right there and accessible to you at your convenience. I'd imagine any time during the day is good for you. Do you have a preferred time of the day to do your skiing?
Yeah, I try to get all my training out of the way in the morning, just so it kind of like wakes me up and it gets my day started. So I try to train in the morning, just so then after that I can focus on my school, and then maybe later on in the afternoon I'll go train again. Just try to like split it up a little bit, just make sure that you have it down.
Yeah, you've got obviously a routine going there. How early would you be out on the water then on a good day?
Probably about like 7:30 or 8, maybe before class. I'll go train.
And how long would you?
Adequate for me.
Yeah, how long would you typically train for, or does it vary then? How long you're on the water?
I'm probably out there for probably max 40 minutes to an hour. I would say on a typical day. I try to not to be out there for too long, otherwise you get tired, and I'd rather take two shorter sets per day rather than one super long one, just because you get tired and everything. So yeah, I'm probably out there for about 40 minutes.
Yeah, I can imagine that comes a time when your arms, your shoulders, your back, it puts a lot of strain on it, doesn't it, to be towed around there and to perform these jumps as well. So you mentioned core strengths being important, but do you do anything very particular for your back and your shoulders and your arms, Erica? Because you must be so strong by now.
Yeah, well, water skiing definitely takes a toll on your body. It's very upper body oriented. My back and arms and shoulders are very strong just because of that already. So I think, I definitely do arms and outside, in the gym, off the water. I just do a bunch of pull-ups, push-ups, and different types of exercises like that to stay fit.
You could probably do bench presses and all of that stuff endlessly then. I can imagine how strong you must be.
Yeah, I'm very strong. Especially from gymnastics as well. That really made me extremely strong, which I think kind of set me apart at times from other competitors, just being that extra bit of having that extra bit of strength.
Well, any sportsman knows that there's always injuries that will hamper you along the way. What's the worst that's happened to you so far, Erica?
Well, actually, I've never gotten hurt on the water, but just minor. I've gotten minor injuries, I don't know, just minor knee and shoulder, just kind of being tweaked a little bit, but nothing too drastic. My worst injury was actually in gymnastics. I ended up dislocating and breaking my arm a while ago, but nothing yet on the water.
Oh, good. Well, okay. Well, we won't talk it up. Let's move on.
I've been super lucky, so it's been great.
Well, let's talk about competition. As I said earlier, you have traveled the world. You've been to some fabulous places: Australia, Russia, Chile. I mean, you must have had obviously some wonderful experiences along the way thanks to this sport, and much more to come, which we'll talk about. But let's share with our listeners, Erica, some of the highlights of your career so far, because, as I said, you've been to some really, really fabulous resorts now to compete at the top level. Talk us through some of those.
Yeah, I would say my favorite part about the sport is actually just traveling and like being able to travel and meeting all these cool people from all over the world. That's definitely like my favorite part. That's my favorite part about the sport, just because, yeah, like I'm very lucky. Not very many people can say they've been to all of these different countries, and so yeah, that's definitely my favorite part.
And of course, Chile and Russia, and I mean, these are just not on everybody's itinerary. Tell us about the experiences that you had there. Were you part of the team, or were you going as an individual?
Yeah, some of the competitions are team-based, like Worlds and like all of the Worlds events are team-based, but the other ones, like the World Cup stops, and it really depends. Like, they have both team competition and individual. So you go to the competition, like for example, Worlds, and you compete for yourself, but also your scores with all of your U.S. team members are added together at the end, and you compete against the other countries. So it's cool because you get both.
You certainly do. Well, just to emphasize really how good you are for those that are not familiar with your sport, you are being first, right from 2006 to the present day as in the national water ski rankings, and for the last few years in the junior world rankings, and been on the water ski team, as you mentioned as well. I mean, it's a fantastic record. Does that put pressure on you when you go into future competitions, or do you feel you have the edge over your competitors?
I definitely do feel the pressure just a little bit, just being so young and being like having the world record. I kind of felt like I need to continuously like prove myself as being a respected competitor, and I don't want to let anyone down. You know, I kind of want to live up to how with my ranking. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel the pressure, but in a way I kind of feel it's almost kind of like a stress reliever, just because I know that I've done so much in the past that if I mess up one, you know, it won't be too big of a deal. But I definitely do feel the pressure coming into the competition, just constantly wanting to prove myself and keep taking titles, you know.
Yes, because you've really got to hang on to those rankings, you know, topping the national water ski ranking for the last 9 years. And I mean, that's an incredible record by anybody's standards. Let's talk about the age groups, though, because you're 18 now, so you're in the under 21 bracket, aren't you?
Yes, I'm technically in the under 21 bracket. I compete in both the under 21, and I compete at the elite pro status. So that's with everybody any age, and that's mainly what I do. But there's a couple competitions a year that are for 21 and under, which is nice because it's people my age. And yeah, it's definitely a little bit of an easier competition, but it's still super fun. But yeah, like most of the competitions I go to are elite status, so it's people that range from, I mean, probably about 30 years old and down.
Right. So obviously you've got a lot of experience, you know, as competition in front of you then with people that much older than you, just because they're that much older than you. I mean, so that's even more impressive that you can do so well against them.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, good. Let's talk about what's to come then, Erica, because you're in the off season now, even though you're training regularly. Talk about the next big competition that you've got coming up.
Yeah, so the next big competition I have, it's called Moomba Masters. It's down in Melbourne, Australia. It's super fun competition. It's in February. It's on the river, right in the middle of the city. So I'm super pumped for that. I go to that. I've been going to that for the last 5 years now. So yeah, I know the city pretty well, and it's just such a fun time. I love it.
Well, that is part of being a part of the ski team, the US ski team, so you get funded then for that, do you?
No, actually, that one is it's an independent based competition. You just go to represent yourself, and you have to pay either. I mean, sponsorships usually are like help people out sometimes, but the U.S. is it's not the U.S. doesn't fund this one just because it's an independent-based competition.
Right, that's a long way to go on your own dime, isn't it? Well, you mentioned earlier about being part of the pro team and sponsorship there. So how does that work for you being in college? Do you get the support of sponsors? Do you have a group of sponsors already?
Yeah, I definitely have some sponsors that I've been with for a couple of years now. I have Nautique Boats. They're super supportive with everything that I've been doing, so that's great. And I have D3 Skis, which is my ski company. They've been super awesome too. I've been with them for a couple of years now, and I have some clothing brands that have been super supportive as well.
Well, that makes a big difference, doesn't it? Because when you go down there, obviously it's not something, you don't take your boat like some people, if they, you're playing tennis or golf, you take your kit with you, but you don't take the boat to Melbourne or anywhere else in the world. So this is organised by the local ski club, is it?
Yes, it's organized by the whole USA Water Ski, the whole organization. A couple of the representatives that are living in Australia, they usually put that on, and it's been put on for many years now. So it's kind of like one of the competitions. Is a big competition that everybody goes to each year, and it's super awesome because Nautique, the boat company that I'm sponsored by, they host or they sponsor the event. So those are the boats that are going to be pulling the event, and so Nautique is awesome. You always know what you're going to get being behind a Nautique. So training here in Orlando behind a Nautique is going to be the same pull as when I'm out in Australia. So I'm super excited that they're the ones that sponsor the event.
Now, who would travel with you then? Your coach would go to Melbourne. Who else would travel with you? What about your family?
Yeah, my mom and my brother. My brother also competes, so he's going to be coming as well. So yeah, I have some family members coming with me, so it'll be super fun.
Right. Well, terrific that you have that kind of support. Now, what can we expect to see then with these new tricks? Is the whirlybird going to be part of your new sequence? Yeah. Well,
so I'm a water skier, and I've been starting to wakeboard as well. So wakeboarding, the whirlybird is a wakeboard trick that I recently learned because I'm gonna next summer I'm planning on competing pro in women's wakeboarding as well as women's water skiing, pro women's water skiing. So that's kind of a new thing for me that I'm trying to do. So this winter I've been training hard and trying to learn a bunch of new wakeboard tricks.
Okay, so that's a wakeboard trick. Now, give us the names of some of the tricks that you'll be doing then on the skis.
On skis, I just do a bunch of mobs, back-to-back mobs, mob 5, back-to-front flip, different flip 180s and 540s, 720s, and then I do tricks that go over the line. So you do spins, you advance enough so that you're playing jump rope with the rope, and you're doing 540 spins going over the rope. So it's super hard, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's very challenging, isn't it, to do it at such speed, obviously, and the way you cross back and forth, and it's thrilling to watch. I hope you get the media coverage that you deserve. Is that any better now as you're getting older? Have you noticed there's more media exposure when you break records the way you do?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a bit more media coverage when you start making a name for yourself and start winning a lot of competitions and everything. But still, water skiing is a pretty small sport, and I don't think it gets the media coverage that it deserves. I wish it would get more because it's just super fun, like super awesome sport, and it's like I think it's awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that the public would love watching it. I just wish that more media would cover it so people would get the chance to see it, you know?
No, I agree. I mean, it's great fun to watch, and
Yeah.
it's just, it is so exciting once you get, once you get going and you see some of these moves and the routines you do,
Yeah.
and how you hold on to that rope with your foot. I just don't know.
Yeah.
That's pretty clever stuff. I mean, there must have been times when you've parted company with the boat, right?
Parted company?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, when it just didn't work out for then that next trick just didn't work and the boat went without you.
Oh yeah, for sure. That happens quite a bit in training, you know. take some hard falls, but usually you got to put it together at a competition, you know.
That's right. That's what practicing is all about. Terrific. Obviously, when you, I think, have got your career mapped out now with breaking records the way you're doing and the ambitions that you have, I want to wish you the very best of luck, Erica.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Haley Daniels, and I'm a whitewater canoeist, and I am so proud to be working with WISP as they have elevated the voice of women in sport. We as women need to help each other to continue to break that glass ceiling and to continue to support each other so that we have a future. So I'm extremely proud to be a part of this collective. If you would like to find out more about my sport and how we have triumphed and we are gender equal, you can find me on LinkedIn or on Instagram, Haley Daniels on LinkedIn and Haley Dansky on Instagram. Thank you.
Well, if you want to follow Erica as she breaks more records, you can do that by following the links that we'll be posting on our show notes accompanying this episode. That's at wisports.com. Just drop down the listen tab to the athlete profile show, and there you'll find all of Erica's social media links. And if you know of any athletes who you think we should be featuring here on the Athlete Profile Show, then do drop us a line to info@wisports.com, or you can post your comments and suggestions on our Facebook page or Instagram or Twitter. And whilst you're on social media, if you like what we're doing, I hope you'll follow us and share. We certainly appreciate your support in helping us increase the coverage of women's sports. So until the next time, thank you for listening and helping us turn up the volume on women's sports.